It's so common to give yourself a challenge while playing career mode. It might be rebuilding a team, it could be trying to win a treble, or even only signing bored players. Having a challenge can really make the game a bit more interesting. Honestly, for me, they're even better when they're actual challenges that are based off things that happened in real life. So today I found 5 teams who are on FC24 that have done crazy things in real life, and you can try and recreate it inside FIFA. For years, as a Forest fan, I would try to recreate the back-to-back Champions League trophies, mainly because it was the only challenge I knew when I was younger, but today I think I found 5 that are even more fun than that, so let's get started with the biggest team in today's video. In 2010, Inter Milan did 2 crazy things. The first was winning the Champions League, which they're still the most recent Italian club to do. To make things even weirder though, they did it without a single Italian player starting in their 11. It's an easy challenge to follow, just try and win the biggest club tournament while not using a single Italian player. If you don't like Inter Milan, you could easily do this with someone like Dortmund and no Germans, or any other combination of club and nation, but Internazionali are unique as the lack of Italians is actually part of the club's history. When the club was founded, they included the quote that the club should be called International because we are all brothers of the world. So your task is to try and find 11 brothers of the world that can lead you to Champions League glory. It'll work like this: sell every Italian, including Bastoni and Barella. You could keep a few if you think you need them in the league, but I'd say get rid of all of them. From then on, you'll spend as much of your budget to replace them as you can, with mostly South Americans coming in. If you want to do things a little bit more realistically, you could even sign only foreign players who are also part Italian. Their real squad in that final had Zanetti, Cambiaso and Motta, who all had Italian passports during the Champions League final. Some of the best South American players of all time are actually part Italian, including Lionel Messi. I think that this is a pretty unique challenge, something that's going to be fun inside career mode because rebuilds always are. Can you make a full squad of foreign players and still win the Champions League? Rather than a challenge that's just related to the club, this next one is all about the manager. Alf Ramsey is most famous for winning the 1966 World Cup, but you might not know he only got the England job after winning the first division with Ipswich. And that's what you'll need to do: take over Championship club Ipswich Town, win the Premier League and go on to win a second World Cup for England. Ipswich are actually in a really good place right now. While they might get automatic promotion this season, I think it's more likely they'll be fighting to get promoted via the playoffs. They have a squad with players that you'll know. I mean, Axel Tuanzebe is probably one of the most bought players in FIFA career mode history, and I'm sure back on FIFA 17, almost every single one of us used Connor Chaplin while we were managing as Portsmouth. The squad isn't the highest rated one in the league, but even their lowest rated players are actually usable on FIFA. Wes Burns is 69 rated, but has 92 pace. Striker Caden Jackson is only 64 overall, but his 91 pace means he's totally usable. These guys are more than good enough for the Championship in career mode. Once you've got Ipswich up, you'll have just a few seasons to win the Premier League. Really, you'll need to be England manager by at least 2027, so that you can manage Euro 2028, which is going to be held in England, and 2 seasons after, you'll have the 100th anniversary of the World Cup. You'll also have a squad that has Saka, Bellingham, Trent, Foden and Tomori all at the top of their potentials, meaning they are truly world-class and elite level talents. This team could be absolutely unreal, and you'll have the strong chance of winning every tournament you enter with England. Only France, Spain and maybe the Netherlands have any chance of being close to your squad in overall. It's a different kind of challenge, but it's one where you get to play in the most detailed league in FIFA and also with one of the best squads in the world. It's a great combo for a really unique challenge. For this next challenge, some of you might already know how this ended, but myself, I only found out about it while researching teams for this video. Marseille are the only French team to win the Champions League, but the season after, they were playing in the second division and had one of the most controversial summers the world has ever seen. 1993 was actually amazing for Marseille fans. They won their 4th French league in a row and they won the Champions League, but the summer after was totally full of drama. It had turned out that the Marseille president Bernard Tapie had contacted 3 Valenciennes players through a Marseille player called Jean-Jacques Aideli, who asked them to underperform in a match so that Marseille could stay fresher for the Champions League final against AC Milan just 6 days after this game. 2 players in the Valenciennes team accepted the bribe, but one didn't, and he exposed Marseille as total cheats. This match-fixing scandal led to the league title being taken away from Marseille, and Paris Saint-Germain actually declined the title after they finished second, so no team won the 92-93 French league title. Your challenge is to become the first and only French team to win the Champions League without cheating. As Marseille are the only team to actually win the Champions League from France, you do have a decent chance of doing it again. You don't have the best squad in the league, sure, and your highest potential players are in the 81 to 82 range, but you do have realistic access to almost any young French player that isn't already at PSG. You'll have to rebuild the side and prove you don't need to cheat to achieve history, and redeem the club in another unique challenge idea. Next up is a save that I've hyped up a lot in the past, where we're going to be heading to the Zweite Bundesliga, where you can recreate history as Kaiserslautern. Their greatest spell began in 1990, where they won their first DFB Pokal and a year later claimed the last Bundesliga title before Germany would unify from West and East Germany. They were a decent mid-table team for the next few years, but in 1996 they did something a bit crazy where they won the second German Cup while also being relegated. After relegation, they appointed a manager called Otto Rehhagel, who led them to promotion, then another title, this time in the Bundesliga. This side included 37-year-old Andreas Bremer and the up-and-coming Michael Ballack. Rehhagel left in 2000, but a year later, Kaiserslautern almost won what would now be called the Europa League, got to the semi-final but lost at Alaves from Spain. They suffered financially for a few years after this and even fell down to the 3rd division, but now they're back and ready for you to try and repeat Rehhagel. A promotion followed by a Bundesliga title in Season 2 is possible, but you'll need to sign the right players almost every single time. It's hard to suggest who the new Bremer could be for Kaiserslautern. Maybe you could make a play to sign someone like Royce or Götze when you get promoted back to the Bundesliga, but I think your academy can definitely provide someone who's going to turn out to be a Ballack level talent. This challenge is very similar to what Leicester City did a few years ago in the Premier League, but somehow even more amazing and even more rapid. It's a totally unique challenge for a team that is definitely worth reading up on, so I do recommend you give this one a go. Our final challenge is also finally one that doesn't need any squad restrictions or you to get promoted. You just need to totally rebuild a team. How can rebuilding a team be a unique idea? Well, you're going to be rebuilding Boa Vista in Portugal to become the first team to win 2 Primeira Liga titles that isn't called Porto, Benfica or Sporting Lisbon. Things aren't great in Boa Vista at the minute. Players haven't been paid for months, training has been suspended because they don't have enough money to pay for water or gas, and players have been forced to shower at home. Their best coach in decades resigned because of everything going on, and it feels like it could be the beginning of the end of this club, but not in FIFA. Back in 2001, Boa Vista won their first title, and it was the first time that a team outside of the Big Three had actually won one since 1946. No one has done it since, and that's exactly what you're going to do. With 14 nationalities in their squad, you can realistically scout anywhere and sign basically anyone, and you only have one target in this challenge, to finally end the dominance in Portugal. Hopefully at least one of these ideas was what you were looking for. I know I found out a lot about some very interesting clubs today, and if you have too, then please like the video or consider subscribing. I'll see you soon for another FIFA video, but check out the playlist and the video that's on screen right now. Thank you for watching, cheers and goodbye.